This is BTV News at 9 o'clock, coming to you live from the capital, Gaborone. I am Khomotso Mapani. The headlines. Launch of a power station in Tlokweng marks a milestone in government's objective of enhancing access to consistent electricity supply in Botswana. The International Council for Game and Wildlife Conservation's 70th General Assembly is underway in Cascais in Portugal. And in sports, joining Galaxy coach Morena Ramorebudi says he's humbled by COSAFA Awards nomination as Coach of the Year. Interpreting in sign language is Topo Taposa. Good evening. President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi described the late Miss Joyce Kumomatlare Selega as a transparent and open leader who executed her leadership roles with dignity and respect. President Masisi noted this when he condoled with the Selega family at Bileng Ward in Lobatse following the death of their mother, Miss Selega. Tutla Matlabapiri reports.
President Masisi arrives in Selega's homestead in Lobatse to comfort them following the passing on of their mother, Miss Joyce Kumomatlare Selega, on Friday, the 12th of April. Miss Selega was a devoted member of Botswana Democratic Party, where she became a nominated councillor for 4 terms, with her last term in office from 2004 to 2009. When updating President Masisi, the family explained that she suffered a long illness, which worsened during her last days in hospital.
My sister Anteles and Taritana Mama or to hits Galam Club the 12.
I want Nayana Taka. Can I get Hano Kilakabiji? Make him a dom crack or popota. Who much change the hurry? Madame Krahat or Motamazas. Give me tell Peter Patrick, it's a much small opinion. Don't nagar leak or cotlele, Kalina Laham, Malona. Kaboto Baha, Kahaloris and Catin, Carmits and Catin. The bloody piero, Hela Canans. Nemotosa, Sabian Gama. In a Moratella anymore. Or straight talk breaks no friendship.
Ms. Selega demonstrated her commitment and hard work as a chairperson of various political committees and associations of health and women. The 81-year-old passed on as a member of the BDP National Council of Elders.
Na pabato I tell to pili. Aba battle at the mulimo. How will we tell the pili? O Korabusa Kahorahona Libato and Lemmasili. How are you, Musul or Udirazoki? How was so very Masili? How was Mason? How more lights out for a boy? Let die for a boy. What my miss or a Wari Rosa Jacka ends. Have I said it? That's a written out of Yara. Homo or Chinese or a whole level head.
Love hello, Harlemu campaignia, more meetings are as a patarona. Now we are horrid. Caruban Haluts in a quiet. I keep to me the same. Kauriki, but I want to look at Nabahame, local home. What are Halits in Malapi? Me, say, Okiso is exactly Mohorona, Relevatswana Hori, Utonto tell him Momutu, maybe say, Umiti. Me Relevela Horaha, Hatadona, Mahoquaho, Akomosata Horoha, Goody Pulunza, Selica, Cocotia, Selica, Lahatsacapa.
President Masisi further encouraged Selega's family to unite and carry on the legacy of their mother with dignity. Ms. Selega will be laid to rest on Saturday, April 20th. Klotam Matabapiri, BTV News, Lobatse.
President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi acknowledged the remarkable legacy of the late Ms. Mogatsa-Tshekedi Kitere, who has been described as a strong-willed and active woman until her final days. Ms. Kitere, who passed away at the age of 85 after a brief illness, is said to have instilled her positive qualities in her 7 daughters, including Ms. Mako Abram, who serves as the Attorney General. President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi said this during his visit to the Kitere family in Kanye this afternoon to offer his condolences. President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi said Ms. Kitere's passing was not only a loss to the family but to the nation.
They say, "Can't hold ka meka ting, le ka na le thaka ka ting, le ka go sembana ka ting, le ka ipete peo ka ting. Thapo ya go ya iponatsa le sika le namile. Ke setho. Motho wa ipeta wa itira wa ipitla. Ke le bogela botshelo ba ga mme thata ka gore o irile mo e leng gore re go solela mo mothong a le molemo mo lopeng la gagwe le mo setšhabeng.
Mahoko wa buile motsadi wa rona a tla tsena mo ditirong tsa rona re tla ikokotlela ka one e tla re tswa mongwe le mongwe a ba utlwile kgomotso eno o e ritsile ke solofela gore e mo tsenye mo pirong
mo boemong jwa kgaolo ye ra
le ba bangwe jalo
ga o lebale gore o goga jo ko pele mme go na le ba ba go setseng morago so seo ra se lebogela tshwanetse re go leboge jaaka o bua gore tsela e ya botlhe re go bolele o rena nao ha gore tiro yo o e irang e seng ela gore tsamaisa le a go kgatlhegela go itse gore ga kae go le monate le go le botlhoko.
The International Council for Game and Wildlife Conservation CIC 70th General Assembly got underway in Cascais, Portugal today with the official opening of the assembly billed for Friday. The Minister of Environment and Tourism, Mr. Dumezweni Mthimkhulu, is expected to address the assembly on Saturday during a panel discussion, therein also announcing Botswana's intention to rejoin the CIC. The conference comes at a time when the country is on a lobbying mission, especially to the United Kingdom and several European countries, to rally behind Botswana's position against the enactment of the anti-trophy hunting bill. On the sidelines of the General Assembly, the president of the CIC, Dr. Philip Hammer, spoke to BTV News reporter Utsidile Onkabetse on his firm conviction of the counterproductiveness of the hunting bill.
The 70th edition of the International Council for Game and Wildlife Conservation, CIC, General Assembly promises fruitful deliberations and outcomes, given the expected participation of a significant pool of delegates from its 85-plus member states affiliated with it, who are eagle's eye on wildlife conservation and sustainability. Botswana's participation at this fora shines a spotlight on her sustainable wildlife conservation and biodiversity priorities, which have given her global recognition, yet under threat in light of the disadvantageous nature of the anti-trophy hunting bill, which is under heavy scrutiny by the UK and other European countries.
My personal opinion is that it is all about protection of habitats and that the animals will only survive if a certain value is attached to them. You can have the value by the meat, you can have the value by photographic tourism, and as well by hunters. So a trophy ban would be completely counterproductive to the protection of animals. It will lead into a loss of biodiversity, and it's a wrong way. 100% convinced that hunting renders a service to nature and to society. Hunters, they work for biodiversity. Hunters bring meat on the table. and hunters help in managing wildlife, in counting wildlife, and also, of course, preventing damages wildlife is doing. So that's our belief, and we think that this service we render is very, very helpful, and we have to advocate and to publish that hunters are doing good for the public, and not as our opponents want to frame us as killers only.
Botswana, through the Ministry of Environment and Tourism, seeks to rejoin the CIC and make its footprint felt in a body whose decades-long advocacy and advisory work has been instrumental in shaping policies and informing global positions on wildlife conservation through the principles of sustainable use.
Botswana is most welcome. It's a lovely country. I have seen it several times. It's one of the most wonderful pieces of nature we have, and Botswana stands for the values the CIC carries. So vision and mission are very much alike. So for us, it's an honor that Botswana is back in our arms, and Botswana, being a member, will drive our doing, will drive our history. So you can participate now. I think that's the most clever thing from Botswana to do. You join in order to be part of it and to decide what we are going to do in the future.
The CIC holds true to the conviction that sustainable use of nature helps nature, which has in part formed the basis of this year's General Assembly theme, which embodies bridges to biodiversity. Utsidile Onkabetsi, BTV News, Cascais, Portugal.
The Minister of Minerals and Energy, Mr. Lefoko Moagi, has launched a power substation in Tlokweng. Speaking at the launch, he said the opening of this power substation marks a milestone in enhancing access to a consistent and dependable electricity supply in Botswana. Tsolofelo Tombale.
Just 2 months following the unveiling of the Kgatling substation, Tlokweng region is set to enjoy the benefit of the generation and the distribution of electricity with the aim of enhancing the well-being of Botswana. As a part of this drive, the ministry is engaged in upgrading and expanding electricity distribution infrastructure following government's commitment to the electrification of the various villages across the country.
Maung, Molepolole, Tlokweng, Serowe. The top 5 in terms of population, la Botswana. Me population e kana dipalo tse tsa bathotse. Di gora di re batho ba ka tse ba gola hela o sa ba di rele di tirelo le ditlamelo tse di tsamaisanyang le dipalo tse di nna mo motseng wa go nna jang.
So I'm pleased that today we are all witnessing the completed Tlokweng substation, which houses some of the latest technology in electricity transmission and distribution. This is testament of a journey of continuous development and unwavering commitment from the government of Botswana to enhance the quality of life.
However, the village electrification program will not only help in providing power to the homesteads, but will also benefit local companies through skills transfers.
I'm pleased to share that in line with our citizen economic empowerment drive, the main contractor, Boneba Shandong, subcontracted work to 22 citizen-owned companies and complied with our CEE requirements, which we set at 40% of the contract value.
Local authorities welcome the new substation.
Tona ha ke na pe mahoko a mantsi raitso ke itumetse go menagane and ke go eletsa katlego mo go tsotlhe raitso tsotlhe.
Tlokweng residents have been urged to jealously safeguard the station from vandalism and the theft of copper cables, which undermine the positive strides as made on their behalf. Tsolofelo Tombale, BTV News, Gaborone.
Retail pump prices will increase at midnight, according to a statement from the Botswana Energy Regulatory Authority, BERA. Retail pump price of unleaded petrol 93 will be increased by 1.13 thebe per litre, while retail pump price of unleaded petrol 95 will be increased by 1 pula 5 thebe per litre, and the retail pump price of diesel 50 ppm will be increased by 16 thebe per litre. Furthermore, the retail pump price of aviation gasoline will be increased as follows. 3 pula 93 thebe per litre for Gaborone, 3 pula 92 thebe per litre for Maung, 4 pula 9 thebe per litre for Kasane, and 3 pula 97 thebe per litre for Francistown. Botswana police yesterday apprehended 3 men in Mogodisane Block 9 and Mopane following a tip-off that they were smuggling marijuana into the country from Eswatini. During the raid, the police found numerous plastic bags that they suspected to contain marijuana. Unkutlule Tamare report.
Intense search of Dagga drug-in suspects' houses yielded results as the police found the drugs after a tip-off. These suspects told the police that they brought these stacks of Dagga from Eswatini to resell in the country.
Batho ba le bane ba belelo ba le bane ba dingwaga tse di fa gare ga 36 le 37 me ele banna ba le bararo le mme a le mongwe mabapi le gore re ba fitlhele ka setlhatshana se re belelang e le motokwane se e leng gore ga re se lebelela weight ya teng ne le 100 kg. Go na le ditagi tse di tsenang mo melelwaneng bja rona mme go be go nna le tse dingwe tse e leng gore di tlodisiwa molelwane ko dikgorong tse e leng gore kana ko e leng gore ga se dikgoro tse e leng tsone tsa molelwane kana di huhumetswa molelwane go lo gongwe.
The police managed to find stacks of Dagga hidden around the house.
Melato e tshwanang le bo dipolao tsa batho, melato e tshwanang le dikgokgontsho tsa mo malapeng, melato e tshwanang le dipetello. Ga o lebelela o fitlhela gore go na le fa e leng gore dikgang tsa ditagi di na le seabe mo go tsone.
These men also took the police to Mopane village, where an arrest was also made on this man who is also said to be selling drugs.
Ka tlholo e go godimo e leng gore re ka neela motho ke kgolegelo ya dingwaga di le 20 mme fa ile gore ke madi e ka nna madi a go godimo a motho a ka duelang ke 500,000.
It is not the first time these men are arrested. Unfortunately, they end up being repeat offenders due to a delay in the prosecution of their cases.
Re tshangwa ke bona batho ba ba bidiwang repeat offenders. Go na le yone kgwetlo e leng gore go fitlhetswe go na le yone backlog ya di-case kana di-case tse di saletseng go morago yaka gongwe ka tswa o bua ka gore ke dikgang tse e leng gore di tswa kgakala.
All the 4 suspects are still in police custody to help them with investigations. Unkutle Thamage, BTV News, Gaborone.
The transformation of Botswana's economy from dependence on mineral wealth to a knowledge-based economy is one of the key priorities. The Registrar General at the Companies and Intellectual Property Authority, SIPA, Mr. Joe Ramaphosa, cited this during the Botswana International Property Policy of 2022 presentation to the Intellectual Property Coordination Committee yesterday in Gaborone.
Botswana has an ambition to transition to a knowledge-based economy by the year 2036. As a middle-income economy that aspires to develop further with an economy that has for a long time been dependent on resources and minerals, it is faced with a challenge to successfully attain this dream. Meanwhile, government in collaboration with different stakeholders are striving to facilitate the endeavor to achieve a thriving knowledge-based economy.
The committee will enable the country to advance its ambitions in the utilization of knowledge for economic development through providing overall direction and leadership of the implementation of policy and its implementation plan.
ne re kopane gompieno gore re roll out policy to them to understand their roles, and then le go make sure gore going forward they start implementing the parts in the police tse leng gore di lebagane le maphata a bone kana di organizations tsa bone.
The Companies and Intellectual Property Authority, SIPA, under which the newly inaugurated Intellectual Property Policy Committee operates, has vowed to provide it with the much-needed support in ensuring implementation of the intellectual property policy and effectively transforms Botswana into an economy led by innovation and creativity.
SIPA is currently in the third year of a 5-year strategy that is hinged on intellectual property. Therefore, our strategic intent at SIPA is to unlock value in the economy through stimulation of innovation, providing IP tools to protect innovation and creativity, and entering meaningful collaborations to ensure that the innovations are commercialized.
This 29-member committee from both government and non-governmental organizations says it is ready to hit the ground running to meet the objectives of the intellectual property policy.
The communities in Botswana are going to benefit so much because we do have natural resources which they depend on, and if those are going to be regulated properly, then the benefits will also go to the communities.
The Intellectual Property Policy Coordination Committee will hold quarterly meetings to introspect and evaluate their job to ensure proper planning and execution of the objectives of the intellectual property policy going forward. Amokelang Molatlhegi, BTV News, Gaborone.
Preparations are at an advanced stage ahead of the anticipated inaugural Hika-Langwanyana Cultural Festival to be held in Moshopa over the weekend. The youth in Moshopa have been encouraged to take part in the festival, which involves traditional and contemporary performing arts. President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi is expected to attend the festival.
The folklore of Hika-Langwanyana tale, motivated by an incident along the Moshopa Dam long ago, which captivates a story of a young girl who was swallowed by a snake and later recovered dead, is hoped to transform the dam into a community conservation park and hub on tourism on Saturday. According to Mr. Rodisamang, Hika-Langwanyana Cultural Festival reflects the country's commitment to fostering a mindset change.
Bo BOTSWANA kwa mahelong a kontle ga Moshopa ba ba binang sebiro ba binang seyei ba sobeya le basaro ba bangwe ba tsoka kontle ya ko maung ko bokone bophireng se e le go supa gore ngwa ya rona re le BOTSWANA re tshwanetse gore re ne le neelano re neelane BOTSWANA ba ba ka kone le BOTSWANA ba ba tswang kontle yengwe ba kopane ba nne le popagano so moletlo tla dirisiwa go bopa popagano yone eo ra gonna le bodiragatsi bo bongwe bo e tla reng go tswa go njano maitseboeng re bo re nne le mo go bitswa go the contemporary festival.
The ongoing preparations involves public transport and welfare, as well as local performances from different entertainment groups, and others have confirmed to be fully armed for the event.
Dr. Vom o tabalefa mo Moshopa a to rutwetsa banana ke to le ruta gore ke eng ke tsere nako e telele ke le mo industry ke yone ke yone kono ke ta bona ke na le bo morware bo V le bo ngwazi ba bua tsa bone nna ke tabe ke bua gore o dira jang gore o sustain mo music industry go itela gampione.
As much as dipalo tse di re update-ileng gore di solohetswe, we expect go nna le tseno le botoka tota provided dipalo tsa morafe o ditlang o tlang indeed ba tla ba hiwa tsono kana re hiwa tsono gore ba transportiwe ke rona, otherwise ke yone hela the way re ka nna le tseno ka teng ha ba ka tla ka kono eventing ka dikoloi tsa bone, it will be a loss to us.
Ke tla yana go tla go rekisa gore le nna ke bone sengwe e tle re ka moso le nna be e re ha moletlo o phatlala ke be ke supa sengwe mme re solela gore e re mo bokhutlong ba one rotlhe ba re tsileng ha re be re kgona gore ka moso re rekele bana di uniformo re rekele bana dijo.
BOTSWANA have been requested to support events such as this, which continues to be unearthed, to also help in preserving some cultural aspects that the future generation can be proud of and find relevance in. Gesero Fetse Makwinja, BTV News.
Moshopa.
The government has assisted Bubira community to curb cattle rustling along the Botswana-Zimbabwe border with over 1 million pula. The money was to help community volunteers who have collaborated with the law enforcement agencies responding to cattle rustling in the area. Karabo Mulusi.
Subsequent to the commitment and promise made by the President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi 2 years ago to the victims of cattle rustling that had impoverished Babirwa, the government has been consistent in delivering the sought-after interventions. The President Dr. Masisi met with his counterpart Mr. Emerson Mnangagwa and requested the Zimbabwean consular in Botswana to tour the border to witness the occurrences. From those engagements, the two countries then joined forces to resolve the matter. The community volunteer groups MEPATO were allowed to collaborate with law enforcement agencies and were supported in various ways, the efforts which bore positive results.
Kata le tona wa dikgaolo le ene hala jalo bantse le thulaganyo ya go supporta le go nonotsha mephato ja ka le itse ke yone itshireleditseng le ruo la Babirwa ka kwano
na ke amogela ka ta utna re le moganga teng re le mephato go Zimbabwe le re ke a irana ke le ka kwa re tshwara le mama le ZRP re tshwara le ZTF ke ra masola go Zimbabwe re tshwara le bone ka kwa re tshwara le dikgosi go Zimbabwe re tshwara le mapalamente ba le ba matebele le ndiri bua le bone terminal again. The
support from government urges on the contribution of the community motivated by the spirit of self-reliance.
Madi hela kana kan 740,000 so ya ka le bona e kwadisitswe le na le stamp sa puso kana go ra re go tsamaiswa ka ditsamaiso tsa puso me khaeto na go ra re thokomeleng ke a rona gore e kgone go re thusa mo gongwe ke dithoro tse di jeleng madi a kana kan 62,000 re na le dithoche tse di jeleng madi a kana kan 91,500 re na le di stretchera tse di jeleng madi a kana kan 388.
It's more than 10 years. Kinzi ke thusa morahi wa rona ha re ntse re tsweletse ka dithuso ka banela le tsone dipitsi tse ne ba di dirisa ele border patrol ke itumela thata tsa tseno ha ke bona gore go tswe mo ga dipitsi ta utona ona bona go tshwanela gore a re nele thuso e kana kana.
The progress achieved, attributed to the collective effort of the community and the government, has also restored the national security along Zimbabwe-Botswana border, while the victims also got assistance.
The government's effort and commitment to reinstate dignity and economic status here in Bubirwa that was affected by the cattle rustling problem does not begin with this vehicle and the equipment. It started a while ago. Last year, government delivered specialized border patrol vehicles, and the restocking exercise is already at an advanced stage. Small stock has been delivered. Now the exercise is moving into cattle restocking. Karabo Mulusi, BTV News, Bobonong.
Small business enterprise community in Kanye have been encouraged to visit relevant offices to access the recently launched Chema Chema Fund. The call was made by Member of Parliament for Kanye South, Dr. Lemogang Kwape, during a business facilitation meeting he held with some of the stakeholders. Kisofetse Makwinja.
Dr. Kwape encouraged entrepreneurs to take it upon themselves to advance and grow their businesses, especially the informal ones that have been in existence for some time now. Dr. Kwape further implored them to maximize on some business facilitation programs to acquire skills to broaden their horizon in business management, as well as improve their business acumen.
Ya se ke se kopa mo bodireding jwa rona mo lehatsheng la Botswana ke gore tiro le nna ke ipalla mo teng tiro tse re di ira
re di adimilwe ka gore e tla tla nako ya gore e be ile rona re direlwana jaanong ga o direla batho ba irele jaaka le wena o eletsa go direla.
Prospective beneficiaries were taken through the requirements and policies of the Chema Chema Fund.
Re go ha 3 months gore we go builda lone letseno le wa ke gore re ha re gore a re simolla go duela khatsana e be ile ka yang ga o tsere mo go 15,000 a ra bitsang re ra tsamaisang kgwebo ra re one wa duela in 6 months yang ke bona o tsotso go itekanya gone go gore business ya me ha ke batla bokana a me ka re 6 months e be e duetse madi a ke a tsere
methala a khumo e mentsi ore ha ka dirisa mothala wa le 1 possibility tsa gore o hume di go tase batho ba na le madi ba humi ba na le business tse di probably more than 3 ga o le business le 1 ha na le semausu ha o ka lwala wena monga semausu possibility ya gore semausu we e go godimo
nna mo bogompieno ke ntse ke rekisa hela ke rekisetsa mo lwapeng ka mabaka gore ne ise ke khone gore nka goroga go gore ke ka aga gone ha ke rekisetsang teng mme go botoka hela thata mme maikelo a me hela ke gore ke go oketsa ke go ya go Chema Chema ke go kopa madi ke kope dithu ona wa ka nthusang ke tshweletse kgwebo ya me
ke le monana o senang kgwebo ke itumela thata gore ke go applyela lenaneo la Chema Chema le nna ke itshimollele kgwebo e leng ya me feeling sone gompieno ke tsa se ka re thusa mo go building dikgwebo tsa rona mo go tleng ka other business ideas gore re ka ira yang go itshetsa go apele.
Residents acknowledged the meeting and expressed their wish for meeting of this nature to be held regularly to give stakeholders the platform to give in-depth interpretation of the existing programs geared up towards improving their lives. Kesego Fetse Makwinja, BTV News, Kanye.
Transforming to off-season vegetable production and embracing the Mindset Change initiative has become a solution to mitigate challenges by local horticulture farmers. One such enterprise is Spring Lily's Farm, an infant enterprise in Baje, set up in a piece of land measuring 2 hectares for irrigation of vegetable farming. The farm continues to be a trailblazer by adopting off-season farming practices. Karabo Mulusi reports.
Shifting to off-season vegetable production and embracing the mindset change has surfaced as the ultimate solution for the local irrigated horticulture farmers. Spring Lily's Farm, an infant enterprise set up in a piece of land measuring 2 hectares for irrigation vegetable farming, is one of the few who've demonstrated bravery adopting the off-season farming practice.
After winter, and then it tends to flood the market. When it floods the market, the price becomes very, very low. Yeah, industry re se re libile maelenyana teng gore re squeeze ha kae re tsena ha kae ya no rena ra le mahaba thote ba hetsa go lema le go rekisa ya no gompieno na rena le magapura harvester le tamati le bile go butswa mme off season has got high risks and high revenue. That is what we've observed over time.
Experience, resource optimization, harnessing technological advancement, research and knowledge about the varieties of vegetables is set to make the impossible possible.
Watermelon Keto F1. It's a hybrid watermelon variety. There's a reason why we chose it, because it is shown what it's resistant to some of the fungal infections that affect watermelons. It actually has got transportability traits. When even it also has a good shelf life. Alive
to the high risks involved in the off-season vegetable production, the farmers are obliged to strike a balance between pushing for profits, maintaining quality standards of the produce, the health of the consumers, and preserving the environment for sustainable productivity.
Well, those bottles that you see here is called integrated pest management system. Baiting. Chefy mo teng re thaisa fruit fly because it has to come and feed on the sugar, but that sugar is mixed with pesticide, and in that way we are able to kill it without having to spray the whole field. Pheromone traps. The pheromone traps the traps that di fruit fly and all the males will come and try and mate and be even the fertilizers that we use, 80% of them chicken manure eggs and the organic manure tea.
Should the paradigm shift prevail, the country's effort to optimize food security and develop a citizen-driven export-led economy stand to prosper. Karabo Mulusi, BTV News, Baje.
The Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Fidelis Molao, has implored the Tonota district leadership to deliver services despite the challenges of limited resources. Addressing the district leadership in Tonota, Mr. Molao said the recent upgrade to a fully fledged district means Tonota is now under pressure to deliver essential services to its people. Abigail Madorobo reports.
Leaders of the district were asked to work tirelessly to ensure that all necessary resources and infrastructures are in place to provide services to the people. Mr. Molao further called on the Independent Electoral Commission to speed up pending payments for those who were engaged in the registration exercise.
Expectation ko bathong gore services tse ba di tlhokang gongwe ga di ne di diega jaaka gone go diragala pele. This is one thing that we all must be cognizant of, that we are well acquainted with and ready to respond despite the challenges that we know sometimes the budget may not be adequate as we had hoped it will be. Mehala, it is incumbent upon us to carry along, but to understand where we are and how we are building on taking services go hobone.
Different representatives from various departments discussed their challenges with the Member of Parliament.
The issue that we are currently, or the challenge that we are currently faced with, is the issue of delay in the decentralization. We have since requested the DTS through headquarters, which we are to submit to through our director, that we be assisted with funds. And currently, for the current financial year, our funds have not yet been disbursed, and it gives us a challenge as to find out how best we can fund the school in terms of maintenance.
From Monday, the 22 April, up until the 4 June, an inspection of the general voter registration, voters roll. It will be placed more as voters, we check our names if they've been captured correctly. We have been placed in our respective polling stations.
District leaders were commended for their determination and passion in bringing services to the people despite the challenges they are faced with. Abigail Madorobo, BTV News, Tonot.
It is now time for sports with Ntabugang Sibetlela.
Good evening, ma'am. But tonight, the sports news follows with me, Ntabugang Sibetlela. At the top, Jenen Galaxy coach Morena Ramorebudi says it's an honor for him to be one of the best coach of the year nominees for the inaugural Kwasafa Awards built for next month. Ryan Kangwenyani.
Currently, Ramorebudi's team, Jenen Galaxy, is at the summit of the Botswana Premier League log standings with 53 points and are fighting tooth and nail to defend the league title they won in the 2022-2023 season. The 43-year-old also finished third with his country's senior national team, Bafana Bafana, at the 2023 Kwasafa Cup.
But I think credit needs to go to these guys. Credit needs to go to South African Football Association. credit needs to go to Botswana Football Association for granting me the opportunity to be in this country. I think as a coach, you are made or you are seen because of your players. So I think they have always been trying their best to make me a better coach. As much as I've tried to make them better players, but I think they have played more role in making me a better coach than what I have done to them, because they are a group full of talent. So to be honest, I'm very happy. And look, for me, I'll be honest with you, I was not expecting it. Looking at the number of top coaches in the SADC region, but being nominated, it means a lot to me, and I'm very happy, and I thank God for another opportunity. Sometimes we take things light and forget that there is grace, that it's moving with us, and we need to thank God for everything that is happening in our lives. So honestly speaking, I'm very happy. I'm hoping that I will come back home with the trophy.
The South African-born coach Ramo Rebudi will battle it out for the Coach of the Year award with Rulani Mokoena of Mamelodi Sundowns, as well as the Namibian senior national team coach Colin Benjamin. Women's Coach of the Year award nominees are Banyana coach Desiree Ellis, Zambian women national team coach Bruce Moape, and Jerry Chabalala of Mamelodi Sundowns ladies. Men's Player of the Year battle will be between Lamek Banda of Lecce and Zambia, Peter Shalulile of Mamelodi Sundowns and Namibia, as well as Pesitau of Al Ali and South Africa. Women's Player of the Year award nominees are Barbara Banda of Shanghai Shengli and Zambia, Rachel Kudananji of Madrid FC and Zambia, as well as Tabitha Chawinga of Inter Milan and Malawi. The inaugural COSAFA Awards Gala dinner will be held in Johannesburg, South Africa on the 9th of next month, and is a celebration of Southern Africa's finest players, coaches and referees, as well as those who have been remarkable servants to the game in the region over the last few decades. Ryan Khamonyane, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
In continued efforts to try and attract players and various clubs to attend the UB Open Badminton Championships in large numbers, this year the tournament will feature 3 new categories, namely Juniors, Elite and Masters. The tournament, which will be in its 3rd year running, will kick off on Saturday and finish on Sunday in Gaborone at the UB Indoor Sport Arena.
Now the UB Open, it's growing. Each and every year it's growing. From the first edition we had only 2 categories, as I've mentioned, but now we have 3 categories, and also we are to have a Masters category for the first time in its kind. And we think, looking at the numbers of people who have registered, that we think it will be the biggest ever UB Open we've ever going to host. Right now, we are focused on the registrations. We are focused on registering the people, and so far the registration, the deadline is tomorrow at noon. And so far many people have registered, and from here we are going to set up the courts at the arena, and tomorrow the players can come and have a feel of the arena, and they can know, okay, UB Open, we want to have that UB Open as a household tournament, that every player knows that each and every year it's a must. I have to participate in this tournament. We need to grow the prize money and everything.
We are trying to get it to the athletes, get it out there so that they can participate. We extend our invitation to our neighboring countries such as South Africa, Zambia and Zimbabwe, who we have in the past participated in that tournaments, and they do obviously come here for the Botswana International. So we expect them to come for this one as well. There may be an issue of something that they need to, that can entice them more in the future. Therefore, I think we could have more athletes from outside coming in. For now, as the brand grows, as we get it out there, as they can see that there's something called UB Open, and they can see the magnitude of it, hopefully they will, join us in the future.
And now, and lastly, Acting Chief Executive Officer of Botswana Football League, Bernard Mamelodi, says he expects the Gaborone Derby to fill up the National Stadium in line with global trends. He said this can be attained through the collaboration of all stakeholders. Leader Poloko has more details about the derby.
Mamelodi says the Gaborone derby should not just be about breaking rights, but has to also sell the local elite league to the world.
There's a lot at stake on Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just 3 points. It's not just bragging rights. It's also for the brand Premier League. Because the derby tends to register an unwanted record when you look at African football. And that unwanted record is that it's probably the only national derby that doesn't fill a stadium. And that record has to end this week. We need to fill the stadium to the rafters like any other national derby in Africa, so that at least we can say we've arrived. Brand Premier League is ready now to go to market and grow football in general, so that there are no more issues around money, there are no more issues around anything.
The former Botswana Football League CEO shared that this can be possible only through unity and concerted efforts from all stakeholders involved.
The media to assist, but to every single Botswana to purchase tickets. Derbies in the continent, you don't just look at people in and around the world. People travel from anywhere. People travel from Botswana to go and watch the Soweto Derby. So wherever people may be, to support these two teams and to support Brand Premier League.
Since this fixture usually attracts a very high number of spectators, arrangements are in place for the sale of tickets during the week in order to avoid the last-minute rush for tickets.
Tickets that are sold at Gaborone bus rank by broadest combis. Then other tickets are sold at Notwani Lifestyle Club. Starting from today, they will be sold at Notwani as well. Then other tickets are sold at Geo offices for village. And then we also have Copas ranking tickets that will be sold until Saturday for Copas ranking. Tickets are just going at 50 pula grandstand, 30 pula elsewhere. So we encourage the football lovers to try and get their tickets as early as now.
Letsebe further highlighted that they have also taken into consideration issues of health and safety for both players and spectators.
We've beefed up our security. We'll be having 60 security guards. By now, there will be many, some will be inside the stadium, some will be outside the stadium. And then on top of the 60 security guards that we'll be having on the day, we'll also be having Botswana police. By now, they will also help us on issues of security, as well as 10 marshals. By now, they will be deploying them around the stands. We'll also have a mobile clinic, just in case there's an emergency. It could be either players or it could be spectators.
The game will be played on Saturday afternoon at the National Stadium and will be live on BTV1 at 15:30 hours. Lydia Poloko, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
From Botswana Tonight Sports Desk, that was all we had for you until we meet again tomorrow same time. Now back to Khomozo to remind you of the backheads.
Thank you so much, Ntebu. Have yourself a fantastic evening, ma'am, until we meet again next time.
Thank you very much, my lady. Do have yourself a great night.
Thank you so much. That was Ntabuhan Sebetlela giving us the latest in sports. Let's take a final look at stories leading the way this evening. Launch of a power substation in Tlokweng marks a milestone in enhancing access to consistent electricity supply in Botswana. The International Council for Game and Wildlife Conservation CIC 70th General Assembly is underway in Cascais, Portugal. And in sports, joining Galaxy coach Morena Rebudi says he's humbled by a COSAFA Awards nomination as Best Coach of the Year. That's all that we had for you in our news bulletin this evening. BTV News, Ikanye Rona, hashtag BW Mindset Change. Up next is the weather update.
Welcome to beautiful Botswana.
where the warmth of her people and wildlife is welcoming, where the vibrancy of her land echoes in the unforgettable voices of her people. Come and see Botswana in her splendor, a place to live, work, and invest. Botswana.